Alright, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Ambush Cast. I'm Scowndrul, joining me is Eastern23. And today, we will be broadcasting Wei King versus Slider Acarigua. So, Razor band, Lycan band coming out so far. Again, a little early to call anything, as these are amateur teams. Really don't know their typical play styles, so it's going to be tough to predict what what kind of strategy they go with.
Razor and Lycan are fairly safe bands no matter what.
Right.
I mean, they're just heroes that are very strong at a lot of different things. Lycan is a really strong pusher early and then transforms into just a really mean right-click hero late.
Yeah, and then Razor, that hero that can really just take control of a lane. You put him against anybody that really needs some farm, and he just takes all the damage away. And
Tinker!
Chance. Tinker pick, okay.
Dyer's pick.
Hero that can really take command of a game and just start disintegrating fools if he gets that farm he needs.
Yeah, Doom, another hero that's always a good band. No matter what you're trying to do, Doom, in some way, shape, or form, counters you.
Right.
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little, I guess, I would say a little surprising to see a Tinker come out so early, just because, you know, he is one of those heroes that can kind of spiral out of control when he gets a lot of room to farm with his march, but he's also, you can kind of pick around him with heroes like Clockwork or Nyx Assassin, like people that can hunt him down when he's trying to split push and farm the entire map. So
I'm almost surprised to see that we didn't see one of those Tinker counters
to
picked up right away. I mean, Death Prophet does have that long silence, but she has to actually get hold of it first, which can be really challenging. And Viper, really nothing to stop Tinker.
Well, I mean, you could kind of think of it as those are two really strong pushing heroes. Viper probably going to go for a fast mech. Death Prophet just a really strong pusher, so they can kind of end the game before Tinker really comes online. And for not picking a Tinker counter early, and you don't really have to. I mean, Tinker's already there, so you can go ahead and pick up other strong heroes like the Death Prophet and Viper, and then they can't ban out all the Tinker counters that they can come up with. So you can always pick one of those up later.
Now, I'm wondering if Wei King is going to have any kind of fallback strategy, because a lot of times when you pick Tinker, you really count on him to just be your hero killer, and your other heroes are primarily utility, maybe one more damage dealer, but a lot of times if you have a plan B, the farm gets eaten up by him. So kind of curious as to see who else they're going to pick. Also, I am curious just to see, which counter for Tinker, if any, that Slider will pick up.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of think of Death Prophet and Viper as kind of soft counters, just because they come online a little faster than him, and especially with Tinker, you really want to try and keep up your towers, especially tier 1s, as long as possible, just to give him more places to teleport to farm. And be involved in fights. But yeah, it's fairly difficult to run Tinker and then maybe just one other hero that needs a good amount of farm, because Tinker is a very greedy hero, and with the ability to farm pretty much everywhere, he usually takes it.
Yeah.
Dyer's ban.
Silencer.
I would say the Brew ban is probably coming out. Slider might be thinking that it looks to me like they're trying to win early before Tinker gets out of hand. And Brew really
5 seconds.
Really excels in early game team fights.
Right. And we talked about Wei King beating heroes that don't need a whole lot of experience. Brew is definitely one of those heroes that if he could just get to 6, he is a huge huge presence in team fights.
Right.
So
yeah.
Dyer's pick.
So yeah, so there's a pretty hard Tinker counter. You can just Vendetta up and get that big burst damage onto Tinker, and Mana Burn is gonna hurt Tinker a lot.
And then the Wraith King pick into the Nyx Assassin with that Mana Burn. I'm wondering if they just kind of had him in mind and didn't want to waste a lot of time with a pick, or if that was just they don't really care kind of thing.
I would say, if I had to guess, I would kind of think that this Wraith King is probably support.
10 seconds to go.
So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you get a magic wand, magic stick on him, and you know, even eating a mana burn, he's probably still gonna have enough mana to ult and throw out a stun or so.
Radiant's pick.
I really think that Way King is gonna have to pick up some heroes that can kind of absorb and push away the push that's gonna come out from Slider to give Tinker some room and some time to farm.
Again, with that Wraith King pick, not a whole lot of wave clear in there, which is another
10 seconds to go.
Hurt them with this early push. Did you know that Mana Burn gets down to a 5 second cooldown?
Oh yeah,
man,
it gets sick. Yeah,
I did not realize it got that low of a cooldown. I thought it was
Reserve time.
No, yeah, 4 second cooldown at max level. So, and you know, Nyx Assassin, it's one of those things where all of his skills are so good. You know, it's like you just want to level everything all the time, because you know, Impale, the stun duration goes up and damage is pretty decent. That Mana Burn, obviously the 4 second cooldown is just dumb. Spike Carapace, the stun duration goes up by quite a bit, and then obviously his ult is really good for picking up squishier heroes. So yeah, that's kind of the only thing. I don't
10 seconds
really
to go.
like Nyx Assassin as much as, I mean,
5 seconds.
He's gotta be a support here. There's no way. Between Death Prophet, Viper, and Bristleback, he's gotta be a support.
I was just considering
Radiant's ban.
also myself how the lanes are going to do it. I was, you know, looking at Way King, thinking Weaver off lane, Tinker mid, and then some sort of tri-lane with this last pick, and I looked up to Slider and just was thinking, man, I have no idea how they're going to run this.
10 seconds to go.
I would guess it's gonna be, you know, Bristle on the off lane, Death Prophet mid, Viper in the safe lane farming. And if I were them, I would get that's
jungle then maybe.
Not what I would have done.
Bold move, Cotton.
I think Slider, you know, I liked their lineup early with the Death Prophet and Viper pickup, and even the Nyx Assassin. The Bristleback and Axe picks though, I mean, they're real tanky frontline heroes.
10 seconds to go.
I don't know. I think it might be too greedy.
5 seconds.
It's pretty greedy, yeah.
Bristleback and Axe, and even Viper and Death Prophet, honestly, all get to be just really tanky, hard to take down heroes. Viper with his corrosive skin and a mech, with the increased armor and increased magic resistance, he gets a lot of EHP. Death Prophet, you know, usually gets a Shiva's or a Bloodstone or a Heart. Bristleback and Axe just soak up damage, so everyone is just hard to take down for Slider, but they also kind of need a lot of farm and or levels.
Yep.
And I just don't know if there's going to be enough to go around for them.
Especially once Tinker gets his travels and he can just start moving everywhere. And making everywhere threatening to farm.
Right. So as opposed to, and you know, Wraith King, it looks like it is a support Wraith King. The tied off lane. So I think Way King has a much stronger laning phase. With the stun from Wraith King and the Ice Path follow up. And then Weaver's one of those heroes where he's deceptively good early. With his Sakuchi and
And the Geminate attack.
yeah,
Once
the
he gets to
Geminate
level
attack,
2.
or even the Swarm. Those bugs are really underrated for how much damage they do early, and you have to just take the time to attack them and get them off of you. They're super annoying. But yeah, I
30
think
seconds to go.
you know, other than the Impale from Nyx, which is, you know, since they changed it, not the easiest stun to hit all the time. And then, you know, Axe's Berserker's Call that really isn't that great until you get a Blink Dagger. You know, they just don't have a lot of lockdown.
And
So,
away we go.
you know, I think Wei King kind of came out ahead on the draft
more bets,
with
please.
those last two pickups just being really greedy coming from Slider.
Yeah. I mean, it is a greedy team, but like you said, Slider team, they do have a lot of just innate tankiness.
Right.
So if they can survive the fights early and find their way to some farm before Tinker can get those travels, they will be in a way better position for the late game. If they can't, though, you know,
Yeah,
then I agree completely. They've
think
kind of
it-
drafted themselves into a poor position.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down a lot to how this early game goes and how the Wraith King and Jakiro maybe rotate, set up some kills, really try and keep the other lanes down. I think it's because if Slider does get the farm and experience that their heroes really want, I think even a farmed Tinker would have a problem with that lineup just because he's gonna run out of mana trying to kill everybody because they've just got, you know, if they're farmed, they're just gonna have so much for him to get through.
Yeah, maybe a bloodstone on him wouldn't be a bad thing.
Right.
Later, have that mana pool to take some of them down. Maybe even before they
Yeah, it
just to repeat that laser, that's true damage, so that'll be nice against Bristleback. And
you're right, but it's only 320 true damage, you know, and so you gotta laser a lot of times.
yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
And, you know, again, against the lineup, you know, Viper with his magic resistance, Bristleback with his bulbous ass of spines, and it's gonna be, I don't know, it's all gonna matter.
Dyer's mid tower won't last much longer.
Oh, for sure. I kind of wish that supports for Wei King were rotating, getting maybe a little more active. I mean, Bristleback on this bottom lane has been playing very safe. He's still level 1. He's
I
Tinker.
totally missed that. I was watching Morass come out at the bottom lane. Didn't even suspect that a Tinker would be, you know, that aggressive that early.
I mean, and Death Prophet had picked up the invisibility rune. I guess just kind of played a little careless.
It looks like it, 'cause she was even way ahead in, you know, the last hit, so she's really had lane dominance. Just a little bit of a misplay.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, Bristleback's playing really, really safe down in the bottom lane. So the Wraith King and Twin-Headed Dragon haven't been able to really have any opportunities to go on him. So I'd like to see them, you know, smoke up and maybe try and get something done in another lane. I mean, Tinker apparently not really needing any help in middle, doing okay on his own, but
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. It's that Tinker that is not real good early, and he wants those rotations from his team to help keep him safe and get him that farm so he can get his travels. But
yeah.
Radiant's mid towers.
And I think it was just a fluke because, you know, looking right now, he's already been kind of driven back out of lane.
Yeah, he's had that that bottle crow going on. Get his health and mana back up. He is stacking the two camps. So that's going to be a fair amount of farm for him. Once he gets some more levels into his March of the Machines. So a good chunk of gold coming out for him eventually. Money in the bank. Setting up an investment fund.
Yeah. Bristleback a little aggressive with Wraith King over getting the illusion, but he'll fall back.
Yeah, and again, you know, Ice Path, not a real easy stun to hit. That liquid fire harassment coming out on Bristleback though is causing him a fair amount of trouble. It's doing a really good job of zoning him out of the lane.
Now, one thing that this Jakiro won't have to struggle with, I was in a game the other day.
Top lane, maybe going on Tide.
Yeah, can't decide if he wants to spine or not.
No.
9 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in a game with Jakiro the other day, and you really don't fully appreciate how slow his cast time is until you're up against a sniper and an invoker with Cold Snap on the other team. And you can just never get a spell off.
The struggle.
He doesn't have a whole lot of that to stop him from their team. I mean, a little bit of stun. The silence could probably come out way faster, but with his range, I don't know if he's going to be in a whole lot of the silences coming out from the Death Prophet, so he probably shouldn't run into that issue this game.
Yeah. It looks like, if I had to guess, I'd say this Weaver is probably going for a Hand of Midas. Has almost 1,500 gold saved up after getting that Ring of the Bass. I mean, I don't know why he would be saving up that much if he wasn't going for Midas. I will say this Tide in the Nyx Assassin put it in and just not a great spot to be. Yeah, that
broken.
Yeah, that
on the jagged rocks of the Way Kings.
That stun from Wraith King followed up by the Ice Path, followed up, I mean, just all the damage that Weaver can do. Again, you don't really think of Weaver as a burst damage hero, but Geminate attack being able to hit twice and Sakuchi, it's a fair amount of damage coming out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think this
Radiant's mid towers
again,
apart.
The Slider with their fairly greedy lineup, only the single support of Nyx Assassin really didn't manage to zone out the Tide very well. He's already up to level 6, getting close to level 7, as opposed to the Bristleback is only halfway to 6. He's gonna pick up some experience now that the Tier 1 tower is gone, though.
Tide net worth, just above Bristles, though, only about 100 gold ahead. Level's really where he's coming out on top. So about the same amount of gold for the off lanes.
Radiant's mid towers
Wraith King and Jakiro smoked up. Looks like they're gonna try and take out this Bristleback.
No breaking down the Radiant structures like
this.
Coming out, gonna get the bug on him. Great fire blast.
Big bone.
Yeah, he's just drunk. There it is. Weaver.
Radiant's mid towers could use a hand.
Yeah, you were right. Weaver did get his Hand of Midas, so he's had that for a while.
Radiant's mid towers.
Nyx Assassin took out the Tinker. I think he was low farming the. He was stacking the Ancient Camp. It looks like that they already warded it, so he can't stack it anymore. But yeah, the Nyx Assassin being able to take him out, and then the Death Prophet pushing the Tier 1 tower. So really good for
Power trade. Yep. Viper with his mechanism. Holy cow! I didn't even notice he had it that fast.
Wow, and another 900 gold on top of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Viper farming very well.
He's actually leading the net worth. Weaver has that Midas picked up.
Oh, Wraith King?
Oh, wow.
What are you doing, buddy?
Oh, he's going ham.
Oh, it's too ham. It's way too ham. Yeah, Jakiro's. Oh, never mind. Oh,
How far will
Nyx,
this Nyx
the
go?
greed! Oh!
Missile.
Oh, now this Nyx is in some real trouble.
Can he find him?
Oh!
Is Tinker gonna find him?
Oh,
So
the
team's
jukes!
coming to help him though.
The jukes! That is one sneaky bug. Did he glitch into those trees? I don't think he should have been able to get in there, honestly. I saw his model like wig out a little bit and then he scooted in. I feel like he shouldn't have been able to do that. But really nice juke spot and PP out from him after going apparently just the perfect amount of ham. I thought he was going too ham.
He did have the support from Death Prophet too, if he did.
Yeah.
Which also might have been part of the thing that deterred Tinker from pursuing it any further.
Radiant's top
Right.
So
tower's
all in all,
hurting.
good play coming out of SA.
Waking are soon going to find that their ancients are warded after this stack does not work. Looks like they're stacking that up for. Well, I wonder.
Tinker or Tide, either one could take it. I mean, they're going to make use of the ancient camp.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Tinker's already at 1500. Now 1700. I would honestly prefer if they give. Oh, up top though, the ancient stack. Nick, taking some punishment.
Oh,
Just gonna be able to.
He stops his
sneak out.
TP.
Oh, trying to turn it around. Maybe not the best idea. It's a good ice path, but
Tide can be chasing into the Death Prophet ult. Never a good idea, but can he do enough damage?
the Ravage
the
comes
Ravage.
out. The anchor smash. Oh, you better turn around. I don't think you. Oh wait, you got a gush?
Nope.
Nope. All
Not
right.
gonna be enough.
Yeah, probably a good idea not to keep chasing the Death Prophet.
Dire side coming out, making sure their wards stay firmly planted on the ancients.
The Ancient's definitely a hotly
Radiant's top tower's in
contested,
bad shape.
almost like a main objective, like a tower at this point. Just with both Tinker and Tide being heroes that can utilize them really well. Tinker already with his travels up coming out. But yeah, like I was saying before, since Tinker was so close to his travels, I would have liked to.
Guess what's happening?
I
Right
would
there.
like.
Bottom tower.
Oh, nope, Nick stopped chasing. I thought with Death Prophet there for sure that he was going to keep chasing, but
That's
his eyes are now set on this Weaver bottom.
Weaver
You have the ward.
probably gonna be in trouble.
Oh, he missed the stun.
Oh, got
he
enough
ults?
for his time lapse.
He didn't need the ult.
He gets
was
dusted
free.
though. He's just so fast.
He will go
Oh.
down. He was
Sad.
home free.
I don't know. He was getting pretty low, and Death Prophet was coming in. It could have gone either way. I think he would have needed to ult to not die from the Crypt Swarm the first time, but then the ult kind of took him back to a place he didn't really want to be. Going on this Viper up top and really tanky. This mechanism and a blade veil?
Who doesn't have a blade
What?
on this team with Nyx and Viper? Man, it's not. It turns out it doesn't matter. Axe in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 5-hero rotation. Turns out,
Oh wow.
oh,
Death
Jakiro
Prophet ult.
with the Nyx
Wow.
down.
Okay.
Oh,
Tinker
so
goes
much
down.
damage.
Death Prophet now going to be running for her life with no mana.
Ravage not up. Oh, Death Prophet getting
Axe.
slowed. Axe, you're a man.
Filing in one at a time. Not the best strategy.
Triple axe. Stick it in the face. That's not what.
Single file team wipe.
Radiant's top
Yeah.
tower's taking
Favor of the
hits.
Radiant.
I mean, Viper awfully tanky with a blade mail and a mechanism early. But yeah, it's not tanky enough to stop the 5-hero rotation coming out from Waking. Yeah, and then just kind of the feed train. Everyone jumped aboard.
All aboard.
Man,
Dire's mid tower
That
could use a little
Death
help.
Prophet got them solo. Axe just had the blood in the eyes.
He did. He was awfully low.
Oh,
Going in on Weaver. Where's the dump? Are we gonna see it? No.
Oh, the time lapse gets him out. Now it's
Team of silence for days.
Zero going down. Rockets coming out. Not being able to finish off Axe.
So, alright, let me just take a second to point out while we're paused here. That's a blade mail on Death Prophet, a blade mail on Viper, and we have the Nyx's just innate, spine ability. So,
oh, the
maybe
Tinker!
I think they're really working against this Tinker. They, are saying, we don't care that you do a lot of AoE damage, we're just going to activate blade mails and let you kill yourself.
Yeah, that's a fairly good
having difficulties.
good strategy to adopt. The Nyx Assassin going for maxing out the mana burn, which is pretty good against this team.
Yeah, Wraith King and Tinker both needing that mana quite a bit.
Even the Weaver not being able to ult.
Yeah, at the early levels it costs mana.
Right. So I mean, he doesn't have enough mana to ult right now. Had to go back to base.
Death Prophet off cooldown now, so they could push this if they get a wave. If they decide that they want to go for it.
Pushing into a Ravage is always a risky maneuver.
They're gonna go for it. Ice path. Let's walk back into.
Tinker coming in. Oh, the Weaver. That's not. Oh, the Ravage coming out. Hits the axe and he swings. Tide's gonna go down.
Dunk. There's another one. Dunk.
Oh.
Is he gonna come back in for the third?
Oh, how greedy. Nope. Weaver pretty low though. Missile's
Weaver
doing
could turn
a
around,
lot
though.
of damage.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
So Weaver, but he's gonna find her over here. Wow, she's getting a lot more health back than I anticipated.
And just
he might be in big trouble now. Okay.
Rip Swarms. Nope.
So kind of an exciting battle top. Once they got the tower, they could have just backed off completely. Although Axe going for all kinds of dunks.
Yeah. They. It's like they were trying to zone them away from the tower just so it didn't get denied. And then they got a little too close to Tide, and he just decided to hit everyone. Ravage.
He walked right by Nyx and just said, I'm getting ready to ravage your whole team, and you can't stop me.
Axe choosing the exact wrong moment to blink in and try and initiate. Just some bad luck coming out. Maybe... no, just trying to deter this push bottom. Death Prophet doing a fair amount of damage to Tinker with that blade mail and just following in March. Oh, Weaver just shopping. Oh, but they've got the ward down. This Weaver's silent.
One less bug in the world.
Yeah. So I think no, they really didn't have any vision on Roche. Maybe they just saw him go into the pit to shop.
Maybe, but that ward right there was what let them get the kill.
Right. Maybe they just saw him come out and it was just wrong place, wrong time for the Weaver. I'm not real sure. So, let's see. Death Prophet on top of the net worth now, followed by the Weaver, and Viper's fallen off a little bit. Had that really good early game start, but then with the 5 minutes of constant fighting, top really hasn't been able to keep up.
He's not doing a bad job sitting on 8,200 though.
Yeah, not at all, and really close to his Aghanims already with the point booster and the staff and the Ogre Club up. Just needs 1,000 more gold. It's really, it's just a great boost. It lets you just use your Viper Strike as a harassment tool, really. It's Bristleback.
Nice stun stopping the follow-up.
Bottom tower.
Viper porting into the ice path.
Probably going to do more damage to Jakiro than it would to him.
But Death Prophet, in the meantime, picked up the bottom tower.
So SA doing a good job of keeping the aggression up, not allowing that.
Oh, Axe! Oh, you're too manly, I think. Oh, the Ravage coming out. The Blade Mail.
Radiant team just melting with all the damage. Blade Mails don't last long enough.
Going down.
To weather the storm.
The Weaver just doing a lot of work with Sakuchi. Death Prophet with a haste rune.
Getting Blade Mail back up.
Yeah, I don't think they. Oh, the laser!
Dyer's mid tower.
Oh, nice Yules, but probably.
No mana on Tinker, and he's silent for days.
Okay, so Death Prophet's gonna get out of here, because I mean, one more rocket and pretty dead.
Hits.
But yeah, just kind of a. I'm not real sure what the Axe was thinking. I guess.
Town.
Yeah.
He's going for a blade mail too. So they're really just going for the whole don't hit us, you'll kill yourself kind of team build. You know, Axe, you hit him, he's gonna have the blade mail and he's gonna be able to spin. You know, Death Prophet got her blade mail and her ultimate where you just don't want to be anywhere near her. Viper with his poison and his blade mail. You got Nyx with his Nyx possibly going into a blade mail as well. His robe of the Magi and his chainmail.
It looks
They're
like
really
it.
committed to this strategy. You know, Bristleback looking to look like he's starting to build his. He's even got a robe of the Magi just casually sitting there. But you know, you hit Bristleback and he's got spines. Just all kinds of damage coming backwards at this Radiant team.
Yeah, the only thing I feel like Axe doesn't really fit all that well in their lineup. I mean, he's good initiation with the blink call. Probably maybe gonna go down. Tinker with his blink up. Yeah, Axe is toast. But yeah, like everyone else on their lineup, kind of, sort of makes you not want to fight into them. The Death Prophet ult and the Viper just being kind of tanky and kind of slowing you and hitting you from range. But Axe kind of has to just go in, and they don't have any great burst damage to follow up. They've got a lot of good sustain damage. Viper.
Viper in a lot of trouble.
Oh, he's got the blade mail though.
Nice
He's invincible.
Hit him.
Tinker just laying down arches. Ravage is off of cooldown, so we'll see if they want to re-engage here.
Oh, that's gonna cost him. No. He's gonna make it.
Silenced up. Ravage has got to come out here in a minute.
Oh, Death Prophet's waiting into their team. Ravage coming out.
Oh, but the Death Prophet ult is doing way too much damage. Axe is somehow still alive. Weaver in the middle, just laying down Sakuchis and Geminate attacks. Bristle quilling like a
He gets
fool.
stunned.
Oh,
Clean up through.
and
Yeah,
Weaver's still alive.
But they.
Oh,
For how long?
but they know.
Oh,
Oh, they got the ward down. Yeah, he's toast.
I'm not sure what he was doing still hanging around there.
I mean, they looked low. I mean, you see the Bristleback, he's at like a quarter life, and you just see how his health bar is percentage-wise kind of low.
I could see how the health bars might be tantalizing, but again, this is just going back to that. You know, they all have blade mails. None of them, you really don't want to attack any of them because you're going to take some sort of damage if you hit.
I'm going in. I don't really know. Bristleback just gonna take a bunch of damage in his butt. Turns on the blade mail. Oh, the quills though.
Nice stun,
Doing
Nyx.
so much damage. Bristleback, maybe? Okay, finally goes down.
Oh, look at this axe!
Oh, the dunk! Oh, he screwed up the first dunk!
He did!
He screwed screwed up the first dunk and it ruins all the dunks.
But it doesn't really matter because it's still a team wipe in favor of the
Yeah.
Dyer.
That was a huge Berserker's call. I think he hit 4 heroes.
Yeah, that was very nice. Axe kind of making up for some of his shortcomings of the early game with
Bad
that
things
Berserker's
happen
call.
when you chase a bristleback, and it's just not good.
Yeah, Radiant team needs to set a time limit, you know. Alright, we can chase for 6 seconds, and then
Right.
after that, if we don't get them,
You just
maybe not
gotta
even that. You know, what's the time on a TP scroll?
Yeah.
That's the amount of time.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
burn! Wow, goes down. Goes down in the space of a Berserker's call. Well, and
And
the
the silence.
forever
He wouldn't have-
silence
he
on
wouldn't
top
have
of
a chance
that.
anyway. You know, had he been able to.
oh, the chase. The chase is real, but alright, yeah.
We're all hanging out just long enough to discourage
Yeah.
him from continuing that chase.
Yeah, they took a lot. The Tide took, I mean, half his life. He thought about going on Death Prophet, got hit by roughly 80 ghosts, and decided that maybe that wasn't the best idea.
No less.
No less. That's a conservative estimate. 80 ghosts.
So Tide has his blink dagger. I'm not sure if he had that last fight or not.
He's had it for a while.
I guess I didn't notice because the last time I saw him ult, he just kind of walked into the middle of their team.
Yeah. Well, he keeps getting. They kind of. Maybe that's where the Axe is just disruptive and starting fights even when it seems like he shouldn't. It gives Death Prophet time to get her ult off, and it seems like it has canceled Tidehunter's Blink Dagger a couple of times when
Nix.
he was kind of thinking of going in, and just didn't really work out for him because he gets hit by a ghost and can't blink, and he's just got to waddle in.
Yeah. Does Battle Hunger stop TP? I think it's HP removal. No, it's magic damage. So I'm not sure if it does enough to stop TP or not.
Should.
It should. I think it does enough to where it doesn't.
I mean,
it trips thresholds.
40 a second?
Dyer's top
30 a
tower's
second.
down.
Yeah.
I think
That
it's enough.
that should be enough. I would be.
There's weird rules about damage thresholds for taking
Yeah.
off curatives. It doesn't really say that anywhere.
Canceling Blink Dagger.
Like healing salve. I know you can use a healing salve through a level 1 Juggernaut spin, and I'm pretty sure you can use it through Dark Seer's
Ion
Shell as
Shell.
well, which, it says dispels on damage, but that's a big fat liar.
You're right. Yeah. Weird stuff like that. Oh, Dota.
If Dota
So-
was like an employee at work and it was this inconsistent, it would be fired on the spot.
That, I mean, you're not wrong. Death Prophet finishing the Bloodstone, Viper with the Aghanim Scepter. A lot of mana boots on. Mana boots on
Towers getting the business.
Death
Them
Prophet
Dyer
is
buildings are tough
not
as nails for
something
now.
you see very often,
No, it's
especially
not.
especially
The Dyer
mana
best
boots
do
on
something about
top
that
of the
bottom
Bloodstone.
tower.
I could see going
And a
for
bottle.
right. I
mean-
could see going for mana boots early just for super spam of your spells, but then breaking it down to go into the Bloodstone. But Bloodstone on top of mana boots seems strange to me.
I think they're just really trying to be considerate of their Bristleback and their Axe. Maybe even their Viper, who, comparatively run out of mana quite fast, especially with Ags. He's launching a Viper Strike all the time and constantly poison attacking. And
Yeah, I
I mean-
suppose, but Bristle, for all his, I guess, mana woes of being, just quills and snot constantly. The smoke.
I don't know if it's going to go over real well because they're walking right
Smell.
into the Weaver.
Oh, but the Weaver. Nick.
Disjoints it. It's the whole Radiant team.
Oh, the Ravage. The Ravage on top of the Macropyre doing a lot of damage, but
The
the dunk. Oh, poor Jakiro melted himself off of the 3 blade mails coming on top of his Macropyre. Weaver may be able to clean up, but no, he's just gonna go down. Yeah, there's just mass blade mail strategies seem to be doing a lot of work.
Especially against all the AoE they have.
Yeah, Jakiro laid down Macropyre, and there was a really nice Ravage on top of that. hit 3 heroes just sitting in the flames, but I think they all had blade mail on, and I think Jakiro just died from all the damage that he took from them taking damage. Kind of the same with the Tinker. Nyx went on him, got a good mana burn off, and then I think they just waited in the March of the Machines and sort of killed him.
Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
Almost caught out the Wraith King with the Berserker's Call.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I had to open a guess. He was just kind of, he saw him over there, out of the corner of his eye with the creep wave, taking a guess with the Berserker's Call.
Oh wow, a heart on Viper?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have committed 100% to this. We're gonna live through everything you throw at us, and if you throw it too hard, you'll kill yourself strategy.
Right, you know, that's... Yeah, they're just tanking up, and you know, that's one way to get away with not building damage, is just build a blade mail, and they'll...
The other team
they'll do damage for you, you know? So...
I mean, yeah, they'll either do damage or let you have your way with them.
Right. I think it can only really get away. You can only get away with it with you know, a team kind of this tanky, because you know you can't just decide, oh, we'll just focus someone else while your blade mail is up, because everyone's blade mail is up. There are no targets to choose from, and if you don't go, Death Prophet ult's just gonna tear through your tower.
And I mean, even if they didn't have blade mails, looking at this Dire team, there's a lot of tankiness, really, who do you focus down first? I mean, I would probably think to go for either Nyx or Death Prophet first, simply because Death Prophet's ultimately doing so much damage, and Nyx, alternatively, being, pretty squishy.
Right, yeah, I mean, Nyx, the only hero on the team that's gonna go down fairly quickly, and then Death Prophet, you just, Wraith King, that's not where you want to go. Oh, he does have his ult up.
Oh man,
that Tinker just doing so much damage to him.
All the spines
there.
Spines on spines.
Death Prophet ult coming out. Oh, Ravage!
Oh, the big Ravage, he got stunned! He's stunned again! He missed the dunk, but it doesn't matter.
I don't...
again, killing himself.
Oh, the Death Prophet ult is doing so much damage. All the blade mail's activated. Tinker just died. Wow.
This might be my favorite game against the Tinker.
Yeah, they just, the mass blade mail build. Oh, the dunk. Oh, yeah. Viper too tanky. Mass blade mails can't just counters Tinker's March defense. And he can't spam out March. He'd have to throw down 3 and then immediately go to the fountain to try and live through it.
And even then, against a few Marches, that'd be a struggle with all their team.
Yeah. So the mass blade mail's honestly doing a ton of work. I mean, obviously the Death Prophet ultimate is always huge and annoying, and the Viper being able to do a lot of damage with his Aghanim Scepter and the Nether Toxin and Poison attack, but yeah, just their AoE of Tinker March and Ravage not really being, and even the Jakiro with his Macafire and Dual Breath, that should be able to keep pushes fairly well at bay. Really just not being able to. Oh wow, Tinker die in the fountain!
He came out and he shot 2 missiles. He was down at 500. Now he's marching and he's back down to 500 again. He's barely surviving in the
Wow, that's so dumb. So,
he's sitting at 300 now, just from shooting missiles.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Oh, wow.
Here it comes. He's gonna kill himself.
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
Yeah.
Radiant's gone and
Oh, he's gonna die!
Oh, yes!
Oh, God!
This is the greatest.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
God, even this Weaver, when he
Radiant's
puts a whole
ancient is
swarm
under
on
pressure.
him, if they decide, oh man.
That's yeah. It's just mass blade mail's just doing way too much damage to Tinker. I mean, obviously, it helps that all their heroes are fairly tanky, so they can take a fair amount of damage.
This might be over for the Radiant.
But yeah, and even the Jakiro too. You know, he's got a lot of AOE damage, and
Dunk?
he kind of had to get out of the dodge. But yeah, the Jakiro, while having a lot of health for a support hero. Oh, the dunk again! Yeah, just they got too tanky, got too many blade mails, and the Radiant team just couldn't stop the push because they weren't allowed to do any AoE damage without dying.
Yeah.
So yeah. Again, I thought that the Sliders team was a little greedy, but they once they got their blade mails, it was kind of over.
Yeah, hilarious fashion too.
Right, because then Tinker, that's one of the most annoying things about a Tinker is trying to push high ground into endless march. But when you have blade mails and he dies instantly when he tries to do that, kind of takes care of it for you.
All right, well, victory for Slider Akarigwa via blade mail. Death by blade mail. This has been another episode of the Ambush Cast. I'm Scowndrul.
I'm E. Smith.
We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Up to top lane. Pretty sick of not getting farmed. Oh, but maybe gonna kill Silencer on